Hello, everyone, and welcome to Backer Breaks It Down. In this episode, we are going to look at something called completing the square. So we've been working with quadratic functions, particularly quadratic functions given to us in standard form or vertex form. So how do you convert from standard form to vertex form? The answer is by completing the square. Now we're going to take a look at a very easy case, and that's the case when a is equal to 1. So let's get started. So this is the process that we're going to follow for completing the square. So my advice is to first get ready to complete the square. So by getting ready, I mean let's sort and organize the given quadratic function, okay, so that there is a positive blank after the linear term and a negative blank after the constant term. And then let's also set up the binomial squares. So that's where I have x something squared. So this is what I call the getting ready. To complete the square, it's really easy. 5 simple steps. Step 1, take half the middle. Step 2, write it down. Step 3, square it. Step 4, multiply by a. And step 5, subtract and simplify. Okay. So watch me go through these 5 steps, right? So I'm going to start with step 1, taking half of the middle. Well, my middle term is -6. So if I take half of that, I get -3. That's step 2, write it down. Step 3, square it. So if I take -3 and I square it, I get 9. Step 4, multiply by a. Well, in this problem, my a value is 1. So I'm just going to go 9 times 1, and I'm going to put that over here. 9 times 1 is 9. And then step 5, subtract and simplify. So if I go 10 minus 9, I get positive 1. And there you have it. This is my vertex form right here. So I was given a function in standard form, I converted it into vertex form, and now I can very confidently identify the vertex. So this has a vertex of 3, 1. So let's see this whole process in action from start to finish, okay? So step 1 is get ready to complete the square. So I'm going to have my quadratic term, my linear term. I'm going to have a positive blank, my constant term, and a negative blank. And I'm also going to set up my square because these first 3 terms are going to become that quantity that is x, leave a space, something squared. So this is that getting ready to complete the square step. Completing the square is 5 simple steps. Half the middle, write it down, square it, multiply by a, subtract. So I'm going to take half the middle, so half of positive 18 is positive 9, write it down. Then I'm going to square it, 9 squared is 81. I'm going to multiply by a, 81 times 1 is 81. And I'm going to subtract and simplify. So that's me going 84 minus 81 is 3. And so there's my vertex form. So I have x plus 9 squared plus 3. And vertex form makes it very easy for me to identify my vertex. So my vertex is the point -9, 3. Okay. Is this vertex a maximum or a minimum? Well, because a is equal to positive 1 here, I know that my parabola is going to open up. So that means my vertex is a minimum. The y-intercept, this is easy to find because I was given the function in standard form. That constant value is my y-intercept. And then lastly, what is the range? The range are your y values. So think look at the high. So if I go back to that little sketch I drew below, like here's my vertex, and that's the point -9, 3. So my function goes as low as 3, and then it goes up forever to infinity and beyond. So that's my range. And that's how we convert standard form into vertex form. So once you have it all organized, it's 5 simple steps. Half the middle, write it down, square it, multiply by a, subtract and simplify. And that's how Backer breaks it down.